Hello artists, welcome to your unicorn painting class. In front of you, you should have your canvas, a cup of water, a paper towel, a large brush, and a small brush. For your colors, you should have purple, orange, yellow, light blue, black, and white. I do recommend a plate because we will be mixing a little bit later. If you do not have all those materials, not a problem. Push pause on your video and come back to us whenever you're ready. All right, the first thing we're going to do is take our two brushes and swirl them around in our cup of water so we can get them nice and clean. So I'm just going to swirl my two brushes like so. And then I'm going to tap them on my paper towel. So a little bit of washing and a little bit of drying. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to paint my background light blue. I'm going to take my big brush and my light blue paint. Make sure it's not dripping off your brush. You can always wipe off the sides. Hold it where the gold is so you have good control. I'm going to start to the left and go around my unicorn's body just so that I know where to stop with my light blue. Go underneath here. And I'm just dragging my big brush and going around my unicorn. Be sure you do not paint in the mane area, in the horn area. You just want to make a big blue bubble around your unicorn so you know where to stop with your light blue background. Go above the ear, above the other ear. And this will just kind of help create a nice little area around our unicorn so we know where to stop with our light blue. Going around the mane. Just going to keep my brush going until it's out of paint. Drag it all the way like so. Again, I'm not down here at all. I've just made a bubble starting down here and around. And go around it one more time to smooth it out because I don't want any bumps with my paint. Be nice and smooth. And there's this kind of C shape down here. Perfect. The next thing I'm going to do is go back to more light blue. I'll start in this little area right here and paint it up and down like so. And then I can go ahead and start painting up and down the rest of the background. And if you're still working on your outline, no problem, take your time. Just know that this is the next step, is painting all that background space blue. And again, you don't want to get any inside the shape of your unicorn. I'm kind of going over my line that I just made too, just a little bit so I can break it up. You don't see that perfect line anymore. Like so. I can start painting the left side. Again, I'm just painting in an up and down motion with my big brush. So in a nice light blue background. Keep that brush going. In just a moment, I will paint the four sides of my canvas. Light blue as well. So the bottom, the right, the left, and the very top of my canvas. Perfect. And then get a little bit more on this side. And I'm going to go ahead and start with the bottom of my canvas so I can just gently lift it up and paint the bottom part all light blue by moving my brush side to side. Perfect. And then I can gently turn it and paint all of the left side light blue. If you got some paint on your unicorn, not a problem. A couple of things you can do. You can wait for the mess up to dry and then put white paint on it, like a whiteout. Let the white dry and then put whatever color you need to on it later. Or you can just paint over it. So you can either white it out once it's dry or paint over it. So to the left side. And then gently do the right side. Again, I'm just painting in an up and down motion. Making sure all 4 of my sides are nicely painted in a light blue. Just in case you decide to hang it up, it just looks a little bit better. So you don't see the messy paintbrush strokes on the side. Looks nice and clean. And then last but not least, the top. And again, take your time with your background. Take your time with the 4 sides. No rush. You want to make sure everything besides your unicorn is painted this light blue. One more thing before I go on to the next step. I'm going to go back and give my blue a second coat, which means I'm going to give it a minute or 2 to dry. And then I'll go back over it one more time. So it just looks a little bit cleaner. You won't see as much of the white background from your canvas. And I kind of start where I started before because I know it's the most dry at this point. So as you can see, there's a big difference between second coat and first coat. The second coat really gets in there. And your canvas is made out of a fabric like your clothing, so you'll see all these little squares. You want to cover them up with your paint. So 2 coats of blue. Nice and neat. Then you can also go back and do the 4 sides. Give those a second coat as well. But again, take your time, no rush. You're welcome to push pause on the video. If you're still working on your background. But once you are done, you can go ahead and wash and dry your big brush. I think I'm actually going to get into this little spot with my little brush. It's hard to get into those little spots sometimes. So if you're having a hard time getting into those little spots, you can do a little check with your small brush. Just be sure to wash it afterwards and dry it afterwards too. Little spots I just couldn't get into, I'm using my small brush. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and just wash and dry both of my brushes. My blue paint is still wet and shiny, so I'm gonna do my best to not get close to that color with my next color, because if one wet paint touches another wet paint, they're gonna mix, and I don't want my colors to mix at this point. So blue background, 4 sides also blue. Perfect. The next thing I'm gonna do after I'm done washing and drying my 2 brushes, and again, if you're not done, you're welcome to push pause on the video, is I'm gonna start painting my areas of yellow. So I'm gonna take my small brush and my yellow paint, and under this kind of bang area, not bang area, but it's the area of the mane going backwards. It's a big shape. Right underneath it, there's a strip that's going to be yellow in the mane. And I'm going to take my small brush. I'm going to make a line that way and a line that way. And I'm going to make a line this way. So I'm just going to outline that shape of the mane. And then I can go in there and use my big brush to paint it yellow. So again, I know exactly where my yellow is going to be. Perfect. Actually, I don't have to wash and dry because I'm just going into yellow next. I do want to give this yellow another coat too. So if you wanted to go in there and give this another coat. Perfect. All right. Once you're done, you do want to be extra careful. You want to definitely give your blue a couple minutes to dry, but the next thing you're going to do is paint this area of the mane yellow. Again, if your blue is shiny, maybe give it a couple more minutes to dry. But same idea, I'm going to use my yellow, my small brush to outline in yellow. And my bigger brush to fill in. So more yellow, outline and fill in. Again, be very careful if your blue is still shiny and wet. You don't want to get the yellow and the blue mixed together. It'll make it a green color. All right, I'm done with the yellow. I'm going to wash and dry both of my brushes by swirling them around. Perfect. The next color I'm going to use is orange, and it's the same idea again. I'm going to use my small brush and my orange paint. I'm going to outline and then fill in. In my orange, I'm going to start with this little sweep of the mane right here. So I'm going to go in there and outline this. And I am going a little bit over the pencil line. Later on, I'll cover it with black paint for an outline. So don't feel like it has to be perfect. I'm going to drag my small brush. Then I can go back to my big brush and fill it in. And again, I would give it 2 coats. Be very careful if you have any shiny blue paint, because you don't want the orange and the blue to mix. So that's one area. My next area of orange, I'm going to use my small brush again, is right here to the left of the yellow. So I'm going to outline with my small brush. And since it's a small little area, you can use your small brush to fill in, or you can jump to your bigger brush. Just be very careful. I'm going to go back to more orange, and again to the left of this yellow, this orange is right underneath it, and I'm going to outline with my small brush, and you could fill in with your smaller or your big brush. It's absolutely up to you. It's almost like filling in little pieces of the puzzle, huh? Nice long smooth lines. Make sure I'm getting into all that white space. And again, if you wanted to, you could go back and give your oranges a second coat after you've given them a couple minutes to dry. Then you can kind of give them that much better of a coverage. Just be very careful and stay inside those 3 areas of orange. Perfect. Then once you're done, go ahead and wash and dry your 2 brushes. And again, if you're still working on these, you're welcome to push pause on the video. No rush. Wash and dry. Once I'm done, I'm going to go to my purple and my small brush. Not the top part, but the bottom part, the bottom section. I'm going to outline. in purple. So small brush on your purple. And you can fill it in with your small brush or your big brush, whichever one you feel more comfortable with. I'm going to jump to my big brush, but be sure you're just staying in that little section. Like so. Again, small brush purple paint. I'm going to go over here to the right. Be very careful of any wet blue paint. You might want to give it some more time to dry. Almost like this triangular shape. And I'm going to use my small brush to fill in. Perfect. So there's 2 areas of the purple. And again, take your time, no rush. And if you need to, you're welcome to pause the video. I'm going to charge my phone really quick while we do that. Ooh, excuse me. Excellent. All right. Next is more purple. To the left of this yellow, I'm going to make a purple outline. Small brush again. I'm going to go underneath this area, make sure I get into all that white spot. Be careful of my wet blue paint. And then you can use your small or big brush, it's up to you. But you're going just to the left of this yellow. Getting in there. I'm going to go back with my small brush and get into those little areas. I'm dragging my brush to keep it nice and smooth. Perfect. All right, next step, over here to the right of my orange, this is also going to be purple right here. I'm going to drag my small brush. It almost has like a crescent shape. And in that section, I can paint it that purple as well. Perfect. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 areas of that purple. Once you are done, you are going to take your big brush. I'm not going to even wash it. I'm going to get a little bit of purple and a little bit of white and mix myself for kind of like a lavender, so like a light purple color. So a scoop of each with my big brush. I can even wipe off the sides if I need to. And I'm just going to wipe off the sides of my small brush too. It's okay if there's still a little bit of purple on there. And as far as my light purple, there is 1, 2, 3, 4 areas of light purple. So all the spaces that you have left are going to be outlined and filled in with light purple. And here's the thing, if you accidentally messed up, kind of went to the wrong little section, not a problem. Just make it work and just make sure all the little sections of your mane are painted in. You don't want any blank spots. And all I'm doing is same old, same old. I am outlining with my small and either filling in with my small and smaller sections or filling in with my bigger brush. Remember, there's 4 sections. Oh, and I forgot to mention, if you wanted to go back and give your purple a second coat, you could. Same with this lavender, this light purple. If you wanted to give this a second coat as well, you can. Just give them a minute or so to dry, and then you can go back and paint them in. There's that piece. Let me connect these together. Perfect. And then there's this one last piece right here. And if you need to make more of a mix, just remember our formula: 1 scoop of purple, 1 scoop of white, and mix, and then wipe off the sides of your brush so you don't have big chunks of paint on there. Excellent. Keep filling. And again, you can give your light purple 2 coats of paint too. And take your time, no rush. If you want to go back and kind of touch up anything, you can. Okay, I might go back to my purple and give it another coat now that it's a bit more dry. These are all the sections of your mane. And just be aware, if a wet color touches another wet color, it's going to mix. So you might give some of your colors some time to dry before you put the color next to it. Or just be super careful. Right. All right. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wash and dry my brushes. So wash and dry. And I'm going to paint inside of the ears with a super, super light purple. And again, if you're still working on the mane, take your time, no rush. But once you're ready, wash and dry your brushes. I'm going to use my small brush and get 2 scoops of white and a dot of purple. So just dip it in there. I'm going to mix it. So I would definitely want it to be lighter than my other purple mix. Just a little bit. It's a super, super light purple. Go back for more. So I went back for more. So again, just be sure it's lighter than that mix that we just made for our mane. I went back for 3 dots, just so I wanted it a little bit darker. I'm gonna wipe off the sides of my brush, so it should be something like that for your color. And then inside the ear, I'm gonna use my small brush to outline and then fill in that smaller triangle. There's 1, and then there's 2. Perfect. And I can wash and dry my brush. My brushes, get them nice and clean. And again, if you're still working on the mane or the ears, take your time. But the next step we're gonna do, we are going to start painting in those little sections of our horn. You can make your own pattern, or you can maybe just use 2 of the colors from the mane, but you can pretty much make it however you want. Just be very nice and neat with your colors. For our pattern, we use purple, then yellow, then orange, and then light purple. So we used purple, yellow, orange, and then light purple for our pattern. But again, that is absolutely up to you how you wanted to paint inside each little section. But I'm going to continue with that in my horn area. And I'm going to wash my brush between each color change. You can kind of skip to every 4th one and do the same color, but I'll just kind of show you on ours how I washed and dried my brush between each color change. So purple, I'm going to start with the very top. Now wash my brush. I'm going to go to yellow, and be very careful not to touch the previous color. Wash my brush. If you need to make more light purple, which it looks like I do, I'm going to make some more of that light purple. So a scoop of each. Wipe off the sides of your small brush. And I'm just using my small brush. So there's that purple, yellow, orange, light purple. And I'm going to continue that pattern until I'm at the end of the horn. Purple, yellow, orange, light purple. So purple, yellow, orange, light purple. And all your colors are kind of like at a slant, they're diagonal. And you just keep going until the horn is all filled in. I'm just using my small brush because it's a small little area. And remember, a scoop of white and a scoop of purple for that light purple lavender mix. It's going to end on this purple right here. Gorgeous. Excellent. So we have all of our beautiful colors on there. Next thing, whenever you're ready for it, we are going to paint our unicorn white. I do want to make sure my big brush is really clean, so I really swirled around in my cup. And then I even give it a hug with my brush. Oh, excuse me, a hug with my brush. So I'm just kind of really going all the way around it, making sure all of the paint is off. Perfect, so have a nice clean brush. I'm going to go to a nice clean area of white. Let me get this. So make sure there's no purple or no other colors in that white. And I'm going to go and outline the horse, so around the nose area. Go in there and just kind of outline it in white so I know where to stop. And then to the left of the mane, be sure the orange is nice and dry. And to the left of this lavender, I'm going to go underneath this purple and just drag my brush. I do want to jump to my small brush, so if you want to wash and really clean your small brush, hug it with your paper towel. You can go back to your white paint. And then I'll kind of clean up too. If you accidentally got some white in the kind of ear, got some blue in the ear area earlier, you can pretty much just white out that light blue. And once you're done, you can go in there and use your big brush for bigger areas, small brush for smaller areas, and paint all of your unicorn white. So this whole section up here, the face area, kind of like the neck area, around the ears. Be sure you're just kind of going in an up and down motion, getting it all covered up. down here, and we'll go around the ears. I'm gonna jump to my small brush and I go around the ears. Paint this all right. Put my big brush aside. Small brush, kind of go to the left of the ear and the right of the ear. Clean it up just a little bit. So the left of the right, get that all nice and clean. While I still have some white on my small brush, got a little bit of purple on there, I'm gonna wipe it off. While I have a little bit of white, I can go back to more white on my brush, and I'm gonna add just a little bit of white inside of some of the colors of the mane. And again, if you're working on the white of the horse's body, still take your time, no rush. You're welcome to push pause on the video. But once you're done with the ears, you can go back to adding a little bit more white to your small brush. And I'm just gonna sweep a little bit of white right here. They're very random. Maybe just sweep a little bit of white right here, a little bit of white right there. And I'm barely pushing on my brush. Maybe sweep a little bit of white right there. So I'm just kind of going into each section, randomly just sweeping some white, mostly on the bottom area. Sweep some white right there. Maybe on the yellow, I can do some on the left side. Add a little bit of water to my brush and go over those to smooth them out just a little bit. So I added a little bit of water to my small brush. I went over that. The white just to kind of get a little bit softer. Some more white on my brush. On the yellow, I'm just gonna do a little sweep of yellow right there. Maybe a little bit to the right of that yellow as well. But it's very random. Your white sweeps where you're just kind of flicking your brush does not have to be exactly where mine are. And again, I did go back and add a little bit of water to my brush and went over my white to kind of smooth it out. A little white right there, a little white right there. So very random. And exactly where they go. Maybe some up here. Maybe some up there. Perfect. You can even add some on the horns. Maybe give them a minute or two to dry. But more on the top part, just kind of here and there. Just sweeping some bits of white. Perfect. And again, I did go back and add some water to help kind of smooth them out. Be sure to tap it on your paper towel too. Clean your brush. Go back and give them another coat so they look a little bit brighter. But you're just adding a little bit of white sweeps in the mane and to the right area of the horn up there. If you feel like you got too much white on there, just let it dry and then go back over it with the color that you want. Perfect. Once you're done, you're gonna wash and dry your small brush. You can even wash and dry your big brush at this point. And we are gonna start outlining our unicorn. I'm gonna start with the main area because I'm gonna give this white some more time to dry. So I'm gonna go around each section of color. So small brush, black paint. And again, if you're still working on your white sweeps, no problem, take your time. But each kind of like puzzle piece, I'm gonna go just on the outside and outline with black. Pretty much where my pencil line was before. This is where it really starts coming together. Because a lot of cartoony shapes need that black outline to really clean it up. And I just drag my brush from one side to the next, separating each color of the mane. That spot is really wet still, so I'm going to kind of ignore it for just a moment. Drag my small brush and my black paint all the way from one side to the next. Again, all you're doing are separating the colors of the mane. You can even go up here. Drag that brush. Don't make choppy moves because that'll make the lines look rough. You want to go from one side to the next. And you can always go back the other way too to kind of get a little bit more solid where you don't see the color behind it. Perfect. And in just a moment, I'll outline around the horn, the ears, the face, the neck area. And I'll add the eyes and the mouth and the nose as well. So go from one side to the next. And come up the other way. Perfect. All right. So now let's go around the horn area. Make sure you don't have too much paint on your small brush, and I'm gonna outline the right side. So I'm gonna keep going, and then I'm gonna outline the left side. I'm gonna keep going, and then I can go in there and separate each color. Sorry, the black line. There we go. There we go. Go on the inside of the ear area. Next, I'm going to outline the left side and the right side. The left side and the right side. And the lines don't have to meet up, but if they do at the top, they come to a point, that's totally fine. Next thing I'm going to do is outline the outside of the ear area, so where the white is. Take my black, outline that area. Again, take your time with your outline, no rushing. I'm gonna start going around this area. pretty much where our pencil line was before is where we're going to go over with our black paint around our unicorn. Like so. Again, if your black outline got a little bit messy, you can let the black dry, put white paint on it, let the white dry, and then go over with whatever color you want. Take your time on your black outline. You're welcome to push pause if you're still working on it. Touch up mine just a little bit here and there. All right, once you're done, you're welcome to start on the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. For the mouth area, and more down here, I'm just gonna come up the edge and come up just a little bit. Just have a little bit of tilt it up. For the nose, I can go for a little bit more black. It's just like a little circle, so up, little circle, like the tiny, tiny little circle. Then underneath the bangs area and a little bit further down, it's a little bit of a curve, and then back up. So those are 1, 2, 3 areas. I think I'm going to even come up a little bit higher right here. There we go. The chin area, you should have an outline there. I think I went over mine. There you go. You're welcome to go back and touch anything up. Take your time finishing up your unicorn. But if you are done with all those steps, you are done with your lovely unicorn painting. Thank you, artists, so much for joining us. I hope you had so much fun, and hopefully we will see you soon again.